everybody. Welcome to the Watch Pals. My name is Chris, and thank you for joining us today on the first episode of this show that is not about wristwatches, but is about watching movies or shows with your pals. Today, we're going to be covering a movie called Jupiter Ascending. But before we get into that, I want to introduce the panel of pals. The first one that I want to introduce, his name is Jordan. Thank you for being here today. Jordan, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
And that's great. Thank you for being here. Anyway, next one is Brian. Brian, how you doing?
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm thrilled. I'm beyond the fucking moon to be here. Great to be here.
Well, great. It's great to hear someone excited to be here. And next is our buddy Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a pleasure to be infiltrating everyone's ears with my voice right now. So I can't wait to keep doing that.
Well, great. Thank you to the panel of pals for being here with me today. And if you're interested in why we're even doing this show, we have an episode 0 recorded. Please go check that out. We're not going to cover that today in this first episode because we got a real fun movie to discuss. And that is, again, Jupiter Ascending, and a movie that was my choice. I was the one who put this upon you. The first thing we're going to do is go over the whole plot of the movie. And then we're going to go into how we actually feel about the movie.
Yeah, quick rundown, and then we're going to dive right in.
This movie was directed, written by the Wachowskis, who brought us The Matrix, right?
The Wachowskis.
The Wachowskis.
Of the Pepperidge Farm fame.
Any case, you would think a movie from 2015 called Jupiter Ascending, it's noted as a space opera film.
A sci-fi epic, I think they were going for.
Sci-fi epic? Yeah. Starring Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, Sean Bean, Eddie Redmayne, and Douglas Booth, who I don't know who that is, but I hear he's great.
Good guy.
He does some great things out there.
It throws a good barbecue.
He's got a nice jawline.
Before we start, do you guys want to tell me anything, just your basic overview of what you feel about this movie before we get into it?
Well, wait, are we already doing this? I mean,
what were your thoughts going into it?
Going into it? Okay. I'll go first. Going into it, I made notes about this.
Okay.
So
what were you expecting, I should say?
I already had heard prior, since this was the 2015 movie.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
I heard it wasn't great going into it, right? Yes. Which with the cast and like the Wachowskis was surprising, like you said, right? So I was like, all right, we'll give it a fair shake. Chris picked it. There must be a reason he picked it. It can't be totally horrible. So that was where my mind was going into it.
Yeah, Chris, why did you pick this movie?
That's what I want to get into.
Because here's the exact reason. And Jordan, this was we actually talked about this in the most recent episode, or one of the episodes of Mysterious Pals, which is another show we are on, and we talk about movies, specifically this movie. Not the show's not about movies, but we talk about this movie in one of our episodes because Channing Tatum, the way he gets around is by rollerblading in the sky.
It's so stupid.
Right.
It's so stupid.
And that's why that brought us to me like, we got to watch that movie.
Yeah, he sure does. Okay.
Brian, what did you think going into it?
Going into it, I also heard it was bad, but I always I like to see, especially like filmmakers, if they do something I like and it like strikes a chord with you, you want to give them a second or third chance. I don't know like how many bad movies they put out at this point, or mediocre or whatever. But going into it, I knew that it was going to be a big sci-fi movie, but it had a lot of bad rap to it. Yeah.
I will say I didn't realize the Wachowskis made it until the end, and I saw their name pop up, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?"
What was your first thought when you saw that?
Wow, I was like, "How did this happen?"
How and why did this happen?
Yeah.
So, Jordan, what do you think? What did you think going into it?
The bar was set low. I know that because, like you guys had said, like it's known for not being great. I think it like lost money based on like its budget and what it actually got sales wise, but the bar was set low. So
It was a budget was up to 210 million. At box office was at 884 million.
Okay.
I looked up a fun fact that apparently the budget for the film got cut in half, which might explain
Oh, interesting.
some of the things that occurred.
Some of the scenes and the way it paced. Yeah.
Knowing that,
makes a
it's
lot
like,
of sense.
hey, I have this movie idea. It's gonna cost this much, and then someone's like, it's gonna have to cost half of that. So,
Yeah,
I
I think there was like some definite potential there,
yeah.
but I think the way it's
say this.
executed was like not well done.
Yeah, I thought the action scenes were cool. I'll give them that for sure.
Yeah.
There's some ridiculous stuff happening in the action scenes.
Well, let's go over through the plot here. So basically, we start out the thing we call a plot. Basically, we start out with our main actress or our main what do you call her?
Character?
Yeah,
Our
protagonist.
main character. Thank you. Is that protagonist? Antagonist, the other one. Okay, so our main character, Mila Kunis, plays Jupiter Jones because her dad was obsessed with Jupiter, the planet, who her parents were from Russia. In the beginning of the movie, you find that out. And then
Her dad was an astrologer.
Maximilian Jones is his name, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, taking notes.
That's one of the only names I remembered. I call everyone else just Channing and Mila.
Yeah.
He's an astronomer, right?
yes, they're both professors. Her mom and her dad are professors.
Right.
They fall in love. Then, out of nowhere, her dad's still looking at the sky. Guys come in and rob their apartment, shoot her dad. And then, before she's born, obviously, she's still in the womb. And then her mom decides, hey, I'm going to head to America
Well, really quick, they
to
mentioned
escape the violence
the guy
of Russia.
The guy shoots their dad, and he's like, "Where's my money?" Or "Give me my money." But they never like explain why that is.
They don't go into depth of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then he tried to take the what's that thing called he was looking through?
telescope.
Telescope.
Thank you. He tried to take his telescope, and that's why he got shot.
Oh, I totally missed that. All
The
right.
guy grabbed the telescope and tried to walk out.
I will. I'll give a little side note in my notes here, talking about the part where you meet her parents. I wrote, "I already hate the parents," and then the next line, the next line was, "Okay, cool, they're getting beat up now," and then I wrote, "Shot?" Because I think that's where her dad got shot.
But wait, why? So wait, why was he? Why did they come break in their house in the first place? 'Cause the Russian guy was like, "Give me my money," and he called her the B word.
I think it was the police, wasn't it?
But they never like go back to that at all. Like why that happened.
It might have been like undertones of it being the KGB.
Listen, I'm gonna say they probably did go back to it, and none of us could pay attention well enough.
The important thing is there's not enough to draw you in to care enough to pay attention,
Of what
right?
her parents. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That's the main thing about this movie. There's a lot of nothing.
a lot of that.
Yeah,
outside.
lot
it was
of
I think the word for this movie is slog.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we go from her parents escape to Russia, or escape from Russia to America. It's
Right.
believed.
Her mom and the daughter.
Her dad dies.
Yeah.
She's born on a boat in the ocean. A girl with no country is what they say.
Right.
Okay, because she's not born in any international waters.
Oh.
So she goes to America. She wasn't born on American soil, so she's not an American citizen. That's why they have the issue later. Her mom and her jumps to her being in her 20s, I believe,
Working,
cleaning
In
houses.
Chicago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cleaning toilets.
Chicago, cleaning rich
she
people's
says
houses.
the best line of the whole movie. She says, "Astrology is bull."
Oh, you know what?
I was like,
got a
"Yep,
note.
sure is. Definitely."
I got
is.
a note about that. My note was, "Oh God, is this about astrology?" And then as soon as I wrote that note, she said it was bull. And I was just like,
Yeah.
"Dang."
And it is bull because I hate when someone's just like, "Hey, are you a Capricorn? Because you like oxygen." Like it's just stupid. Like oh, you like popcorn? I must mean you're a Sagittarius. It's so stupid. Like I don't know. I hate it.
Look, you don't have to tell me.
While she's cleaning with her mother, that she really likes touching rich people. Like she's like putting on their jewelry and just touching all their shit. So you're really not supposed to be doing that. But
Touching the
well, you
toilet
never
she's
clean
cleaning.
people's houses.
I
Maybe
guess
that's
if
what
she
they do. I don't
cleans
know.
it. Well, I'm saying it's a possibility. But if you're like, we know somebody actually personally that has people clean their house. So and I know that if he knew people were touching his, be flipping out. So
they have to clean it. How's
Yeah,
they going to clean it?
I guess to clean it.
Yeah, they're cleaning the evidence afterward, after they're having their little fashion show, I guess.
Okay, so we jump to she's saying how she hates her life whenever she wakes up every morning, apparently.
Yeah.
And we jump to this, all of a sudden, zooms out to this alien race, the human race, the alien human race.
Humanoid.
That is, yes. Well, they are humans.
Oh, they are humans?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
They seeded the galaxy.
right.
Yeah, the original
So-
humans. Or whatever
Yes.
their names are.
They're just, they are humans. There are other races, but they
call
are
them
humans.
any other name.
And it focuses on this family called the Abraxas family, I
Yeah,
believe.
the Abraxas, yep.
I will say it was a very harsh cut to like, hey, we're in Chicago. All right, cool. Now we're in space.
Now we're on this meth
Like-
planet.
All right, yeah.
Did you remember that?
It's all meth.
It was all like Breaking Bad meth all over the ground.
Oh, yeah, the blue stuff they were walking on.
Look what we've done. Isn't this wonderful?
So they jump to a futuristic city with these three siblings, the Abraxas family.
The tribe,
they have a brother, two brothers, and a sister.
Yep.
Okay. And they're talking about how they basically just annihilated this entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
And you go on to find out later that they're basically, industrialist
Here, I wrote it.
magnates.
I said they're like planet real estate agents. Planetary Zillow is what I wrote down. And then I also wrote down fetish for wrinkles because that one guy said that when he was
Dude.
talking to that old lady.
I was like, yeah, I could tell that they were in older makeup, like it was just younger actors trying to make look older. But at the same time, I'm like, man, this looks pretty this doesn't look great for this kind of budget.
So they, so we have this family. They're kind of, you could tell there's kind of, the one makes reference that he owns the earth, that his mother left him the earth, and the other ones want the earth for some reason. But it seems like as they go on, they have like lots of other planets that they're in charge of. They don't really explain what the planets are used for or why they have these planets or why they own them until later in the film.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I was like, oh, it's like the Matrix kind of. And then I saw who made it, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is just
Turning
them
up,
trying to tell the Matrix again.
making smoothies.
Anyway.
And the best part about it is the one brother who's in charge of the earth lives in the red eye of Jupiter. How convenient.
Also, I'm just going to say this now. The worst line in the movie is when she's like, call me Joop.
Yeah.
No, I got one, but that's not it. That's
That
not it. I'll
was
get to it.
horrible. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I'll get to my
I
worst
can't
line.
believe I'm
It's
watching
so
this.
bad.
I want to put this out here while we're explaining this, that the entire movie tries to include every alien conspiracy that we have on Earth, like right now.
Yeah.
It has the lizard people. It has all these other things we kind of like pop out, like the idea of where the Earth was seeded and it's a farm and blah, 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 which we'll go into. But I think it's crazy they kind of jam it all into this movie. We jump from Jupiter now, or what is known as Jupiter with this family, to back to Earth.
Yep.
Where we see our hunky other main character, Channing Tatum, who
Magic
plays
Mike.
who plays the role of Kane Wise.
Yep. Which Jeff didn't know that was his name until I told him
I
earlier.
didn't know, yeah. I didn't know his
I
name.
can't really blame him because it's a bad name, but good.
Yes, especially because he's spliced with a dog or a
wolf.
lycant, they call it. Yes. So he's part human, part wolf.
I feel like, he busts out with his future ice skates in the air, and he has like his Halo shield. He's geared up.
Yeah, he was
And
geared
he's
up.
they kind of made him like my first impression before I knew he was spliced. I was like, they're trying to do like emo space Legolas with him or something. Cause just like with
Elf
like the
ears
weird
or like
ears.
orc
Yeah.
ears.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know how to read them at first.
So he's looking for someone, and he's at an adoption agency or some type of office where he finds a human's name that's not Jupiter Jones, in any case.
Right.
And some other bounty hunters are there looking for what he's doing.
Doesn't he smell the paper and like, oh,
Yes.
I can see the arm of the person who wrote this or something like that?
He can sniff
So
a book and learn
stupid.
things. He's like a smell
Sniffs
wisher
farts.
kind of.
I mean, he's a dog, though. That's the thing.
Okay, well, the dog thing you don't know yet. So it's weird.
Well, they don't reveal. There's a lot of like later reveals in this film. Yeah, too many.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty early that he's a dog. Kane Wise. Oh god.
That's his only sniffing part too, right?
I think there's another one later. I think
Another a second sniff.
Sniffs.
second sniff.
They don't really focus on it, maybe. So these bounty hunters jump out. They start fighting with him. He takes off in his ice skates in the sky or rollerblades in the sky.
Which they totally ripped off Back to the Future 2 when he fought him on the hoverboard.
So yeah,
It's like the same scene.
I watched that. I watched it with Kelly, my partner, and she said the exact same thing. She's like, "This is Back to the Future."
I will say though that battle was cool.
No,
Like,
those
the-
scenes are cool.
The
action
fights are
scenes.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just when I saw him cruising around on his shoulder skates or whatever.
Yeah. Oh
they are,
yeah.
And
So
I mean, which
It's so
I want to get into
stupid.
that. No, dude, that I'll get into it later. But the boots are the best part of this movie. I'll explain why later. But no, when I was watching that scene when the gang members were fighting him, immediately I thought Back to the Future 2 when he gets the hoverboard and he's going across the city there with the little lake and everything. It's like
Yeah.
pinpoint. Anyway,
But I think the crazy thing is, like, they're just like, oh, we're going to start. They don't explain this, but there's a big firefight in the middle of Chicago, in the city of Chicago.
Oh yeah. And there's and there's also like no one out on the streets or anything.
No one sees anything. And the same thing happens later. And that's what gets into another conspiracy theory of like, oh, yeah, so we don't get everybody. We can't stop everybody from seeing what we do.
Wait till we get to the other fight scene in Chicago because I want to get into that. But go ahead.
So he gets out, he runs out, they fight. You don't really know who they're working for yet, but you figure they're probably working for the Abraxas family, right, in some way.
Right.
There's some other lines in there with the family. But anyway, Jupiter goes back to...
Hold on. We gotta stop real quick on the family because it's like the uncle is like the most stereotypical. Like even has the Adidas
man guy?
tracksuit on.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Like,
you mean the
so
Russian family?
Jupiter's
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higgins.
It's just like holy Higgins. Is that
sleeveless-
Yeah. Well,
brother.
no, it's Higgins from Ted Lasso.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't seen Ted Lasso. So
Okay, so that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about it. So she's with her family. She lives in one house with a family, an extended family. It must have been her uncle and her cousins. Her
Right.
cousin convinced her to donate her eggs,
Yeah.
so that she can, so they can make money, basically.
Mr.
if she was to
Sleeveless.
buy a $4,000 telescope off of eBay, not even a new one.
It's the same as her dad's.
That's a lot of money.
It's the same telescope her dad had.
It's like the same model or something.
Yes,
Or
it's the same
looks
golden
like
thing.
it. It looks
Yeah.
like it.
Same VIN number.
I checked the cereal.
So she goes to donate her eggs. Prior to that, you meet this other girl named Catherine, who she's faking. She used a fake name to donate eggs. Catherine is getting changed for a date.
She was
Right,
like
it's
straight out
hanging
of
out in
the
the
OC
closet.
or something. Like Catherine was just like, yeah, like
It's like the exact same feel of if you ever seen Princess and the Frog, the Disney movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Prince and the Pauper.
Same exact scene.
Yeah, it's Vanessa Kirby. She was
There
in The
you go.
Crown, and she's gonna be the new Sue Storm in Fantastic Four movie.
Oh,
But
that's
she's only
cool.
in this show for she's only in this movie for like 3 minutes. She gets
Yeah, like
attacked by
what,
these
two
the little
scenes?
the little typical gray aliens attack her and take her blood. Find
They're
out
mini Cloverfields.
they're trying to find out if she's Jupiter Jones.
they abduct her with like Apple Watches.
She's
Yeah.
just floats and they rotate her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Jupiter takes a picture of this on her phone. They see the flash. They come after her. She wakes
Oh
up.
yeah. Well, also the what year is this supposed to take place? And in the future, they have like iOS 7.
Now.
Yeah, I guess it was 2015. That UI looks
Yeah.
rough on that iPhone. That's all I'm saying.
Well, she also was like poor. She has like a fake phone or whatever.
nah,
she's
it was
a
an
fake.
iPhone.
It's a burner.
It's like an iPhone
It was
5 or something,
a-
but she's like
It was a J
2015 version. Yeah. But even the uncle makes reference to her needing money and what she wants to buy another phone.
Right.
So there's a whole thing with her uncle and her and money. And obviously money's a big issue in the family. And she's trying to buy this telescope that was her dad's, that supposedly, or looked like her dad's. Anyway, her cousin's trying to convince her about donating eggs. And she goes in to donate eggs under a different name. She then finds out the people that are doing the operation to extract her eggs are not, are the little gray aliens again. They try to kill her.
Yeah. They're not human.
Right. Kane Wise comes in, kills them.
Yep. Cruises around the hospital room.
Zipping around the room, just
Zip, zap,
blasting
zoobian.
aliens. She's floating in midair.
Yes. And then he takes her and she wakes up in an abandoned building.
Yep.
She's dressed and she's like, what happened to me?
Which happens a lot. She just gets
She's
knocked down.
so confused this entire movie.
They just take her everywhere.
Anyway, when she wakes up, he's like, "You're a princess you're the queen or whatever," and she's like, "Oh, really? Okay, let's go."
Yeah,
like there's no setup.
No, like I don't believe you.
She was ready to go to space.
They were alluding to her being a princess because she was touching all those rich people's things.
Oh yeah,
That's
in
little
like the
touches.
dumbest way.
Oh yeah,
The dumbest way ever.
But I was just gonna say that that they're supposed to be. You would assume that a human being on Earth that is seeing orc people and people floating around would have a little bit of reservation about getting shot into space on this dude's back. But
yeah,
she was just ready to go.
25 minutes in.
He spends a minute explaining that she's a princess or something important, and he needs to take her back to a different planet.
It's Magic Mike though, so
that's why.
Yeah.
With weird his ears are weird.
The ears, she can forgive the ears. It's Magic Mike.
She falls in love with him instantly.
Yeah. She was thirsting immediately. And I was like, all right, Channing's keeping it up. He's not giving in. I have notes throughout the whole movie of him rejecting her.
He was being smooth.
Keep doing it, Channing.
So they then together, he takes her into the ship. They walk out a window. She's like, "Okay, I'll hold on to you." And they just go out of a window.
She ascends.
Right after he told her that she's going to another planet or something's going on. She totally believes him.
Like 2 minutes, yeah.
They didn't spend a lot of time explaining what the hell was going on at all for her and him.
Nope.
There's no setup to that. I don't know why.
It was 25 minutes into the movie, and she's flying up into space with him already.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they teleport in. All of a sudden, other alien ships come in, and there's this huge battle in the middle of Chicago in the skies where people are falling, explosions are happening.
Yeah, explosion right outside the Sears Tower, which no one seems to like.
Where is some form of authority going, hey, don't do that.
There was like one train and finally a couple cars as they got down to the road. It's like, geez.
But then they just blow up that train. They just murder tons of people.
There's
There's
a bunch
buildings
of
are falling
civilians
over.
just get like toasted.
Yeah.
And no cops, no fighter jets, nothing. Like I didn't even see any
panicking?
nobody on the streets running.
Yeah.
They're just all looking up in traffic.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
They do
just
try
another
to
day in
that
Chicago.
away.
They try to cover it up in the next scene. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
So wait, that whole thing happens and it's getting into like twilight. It's getting into like evening time, okay? And then it cuts to her in a car driving through some cornfields with Chicago in the background.
Good morning.
And she's like, "Oh, what happened? Oh no." And he's just like, "Oh, we're taking off, we're leaving." And she's like, "But what about the city?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's fine." They look back to the window and all of a sudden the smoke stops and like the city goes back together.
Yeah, like warps back into warps back into form, basically. It all goes back to normal.
And she's like, "What about the people?" She's like, "What about the people?" He's like, "Oh no, we have ways of just making everybody believe."
That's that. That's that.
They MIB them, dude. It's exactly.
Yeah, but then he's like, "We don't get everybody," and that explains why there's people around. You know, that's trying to explain like why people are like, "Oh, there's aliens."
Yeah.
And you don't get everybody, but no one believes them, basically. Okay. Then we go to my favorite entire scene in the movie when they go to that guy's house.
Ned Stark.
They go out to Sean Bean's house that is just a giant beehive, apparently.
John Bean.
Do they once explain why there's bees everywhere?
Yes.
I wrote that the juxtaposition of all the sci-fi and the normal technology in vehicles is hilarious.
So there's a whole thing going on in this movie. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm sure you did or something.
Nope.
But nope. There's an animal thing going on with the characters. So you got Kane Wise is the wolf, right? You got Sean Bean is the bee. You got one of the crew members he's morphed with the bees because he's got the yellow eyes like his daughter.
Oh, I totally missed that.
And his nickname, you find out later, is Stinger. So there's that.
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
I stopped paying attention.
That is insane.
Again, why would they do these little hints in there? They don't really tell you.
It took me 4 hours to watch this movie. I had to keep stopping. Like, I gotta walk away.
I just powered through it, which probably explains why it's so fragmented.
But there is a lot of this movie is like these weird scenes up front where they like when she got to his house, she's like conducting the bees with her hands,
yes,
like
so
a
for no reason, and she doesn't want to know why.
Yeah, and they don't explain.
She's like Cinderella.
Yeah,
or whatever that Disney character that
exactly.
like with the animals or whatever, like.
Or like a Pan's Labyrinth kind of weird thing going on. But there's like a weird space princess thing with her. And then they explain things in little drops later. They'll say like, oh, by the way, my name's Stinger. It's like, what? Why did you not say this in the first place? It's like 40 minutes later.
I know why I overlooked this because we're getting to the Ned Stark, Sean Bean part.
The Sean Bean,
Can we talk about, real quick, this horrible joke with the, her covering his wound with the maxi pad.
The WD-40 or whatever.
Luckily, it's a woman's car.
Yeah. And then they like reprise it later too. Sean Bean's like, oh, maxi pad. That's not for you.
I don't think I caught that.
You didn't catch that?
I caught her doing it, but I don't think I caught the follow-up.
Oh, the follow-up, Sean Bean even gave it like a laugh. It's just like, all right, man, come on.
And since we're on Sean Bean, dude, I have to say the worst line in the movie was his. He's about to get like hit with that gravity gun from Kano, which we didn't even mention was in that Australian, or he's in that gang that's following them, that's trying to like the bounty hunters. So he gets hit.
Like super like Nat.
Yeah, exactly. So he's all like, oh, I got you with the gravity gun, And he's just like, and then looks at Sean Bean. Sean Bean sees him and goes, beeswax. And then gets blown the back. And I was like, that's fucking terrible.
Oh, that's why that happened.
Yeah. So,
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
That's my worst line of the movie.
Okay, so we're in the beehive right now.
We're in it.
We also need to realize or recognize that there's also this kind of other stuff going on with the Abraxas family on the outside of the movie. Every other scene, there's this thing where the Abraxas kids are kind of like, they have their own kind of things going on where they're sending these. It looks like it's the one Abraxas guy who owns the earth.
Yeah, Balaam. Lord Balaam.
Okay, yeah, thank you. He is like sending these assassins to kill her for some reason, which you still don't really know anything about.
Why?
Other than Sean Bean at this point calls her a queen.
Right.
Or says Your Majesty.
Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, he fought Channing briefly there.
Yes, and there's this whole backstory with him and Channing and why Sean Bean's on Earth, and they both have these holes in their back for their wings used to be, quote, because they're both these super soldiers apparently.
Right.
Yeah, so stupid.
And then assassins come back to the farm again. Sean Bean's trying to communicate with someone. Apparently there's this also, which really does not explain well, there's a whole other structure of like military structure, I guess, of like maybe it's the sister that has like more control, where there's like a military, then there's Lord Balaam, and then there's the other brother.
Right.
But there's also this like governing body that's kind of helping Jupiter out, I guess.
They don't reveal their motives until later, really. Like when she finally meets them, but that's in the plot later. But yeah, there's a bunch of forces coming after her that you don't know why, and you don't know why they keep cutting back to this rich family and going, yes, just go get her again. Like it's just like, yeah, they did it like 10 times.
So Lord Balaam sends his lizard people, which is another conspiracy theory.
Awesome character. I love the lizard guys.
So they're the ones trying to get her. But you think that there's other assassins that attacked Kane-wise earlier that are from a different faction going after her, trying to get her.
The Aegis.
Yeah, so they come in and try to get her again. Sean Bean gets knocked down, like you said.
Yeah, wait, Andrew, all the aliens were invisible when it started too, and then all of a sudden they just weren't.
Yeah, why would they not be invisible when they're trying to kill people?
Why would you just not stay invisible?
Why would you
Like
why would you be Predator?
Man, I gotta know later. I'm pretty sure everyone has the same note, but we'll get there.
So they all go. So she gets taken away and gets taken to the sister.
You see crop circles too when they.
Yes, I pointed out the crop
drop.
circles. Yes, another thing.
Yeah.
So they go to the sister, who is what's her name?
I'm pulling up my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
The sister, Abraxas' sister,
Dummy.
is
Kalik.
Yeah,
Dummy
Kalik.
Dummerson.
Yeah,
okay.
Kalik.
So there's Kalik, Lord Balaam, and then the other brother,
The pervert.
Titus. There's Titus, Balaam, and Kalik. So Kalik gets her, brings her back to her stronghold or her
her base.
Right. And Channing Tatum is on. He's able to get on the board of the ship that's taking her by his
Tom Cruise
rollerblades. Yeah.
Oh, and then like she's immediately shown like a statue of her. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we've abducted
You find out
Yeah.
that she is her mother. And the reasoning they go behind this or put behind this is that there's so many genes in the world and the universe that eventually they will the idea of having so many randomizations will come together eventually the same way exactly.
Are they kind of like
she's a
vampires? She makes a
They
comment
bring
about
up
They
It
dropped
says
that
that.
reference. Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, I made a note of that because I thought it was so insane. They explain one reincarnation, so they bring in the reincarnation theories we talked about, or that's thought of on Earth. They say there's a throwaway line about vampires. She kind of makes that. I like also during this, Khalik explains the dinosaurs too. What happened with the dinosaurs?
Yeah. Which was kind of made me
That
laugh
they were getting
too.
too strong, and so they had to wipe them out.
So I have a note here. I said I can't pay attention enough to this dialogue to understand what the fuck they're saying. It's so boring outside of the action scenes. This is what I typed out in my notes.
Yeah, she was I know that the prince or the sister is 14,000 years old, and they eventually explain, and I don't that the reason that they were wearing the old makeup earlier and that it just disappeared suddenly is because why? Well, here you can explain it, Chris. Why did she bring her to the base or whatever?
So first off, I want to say that she says Jupiter mentioned something about in this communication with Khalik in the scene. She says, "Are you guys vampires?" And the princess says, "We are the source of those myths on Earth." So they're like, we make those up and tell people.
We feed those out.
Yeah.
Why? They're not real.
Yes. So there's a lot of really crazy throwaway things in that conversation, but all of a sudden they show her this event where Khalik goes from old to young. She's all of a sudden super young.
Yep.
The idea is that they have the power to basically regenerate all their cells.
It's like Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, the
kind
Lazarus
of.
pit.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we get a DMV joke.
Yeah, big
Right.
one.
We get a big, but I think the best part about this was Intergalactic Advocate Bob was the robot that was taking her around to the DMV place.
Yeah, that visual effect on Bob was pretty cool.
That part was actually like,
that one was cool.
like for a non-action part, it was actually like entertaining. Yeah.
Before that, there's this whole scene with her and Kane, so that Khalik says that she should go pick up, basically get encoded with the DNA of her mother to get all of her mother's property and stuff. Right? So that's why they're going to the DMV. On their way, she approaches Kane and says that she's in love with him. And he's like, I'm part dog.
Yeah, I got
part
the dog.
human.
He got that dog. Yeah. There it is.
And here's a line that she says, I love dogs. I've always loved dogs. After getting down by him. That's what she says to him. I love dogs. I've always loved dogs.
I love dogs. Okay.
Yeah, they go to the planet where they're supposed to encode her DNA to be the mom, basically to take over all of the mom's stuff again. She becomes in control of everything that the mom had that was then given to the kids. She takes it back. But I think the crazy thing is they spent so much time and money populating and animating and all this crazy DMV scene for 10 minutes of film. They could spend so much money making these sets and everything. It's insane how much money they spent on this stupid shtick about the DMV.
It was one of the best parts, though.
But it was. It was the most
but-
entertaining part. Reminded me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy a little bit.
Okay. So we get to what happens next. After that, she's then becomes the queen officially and takes over her mother's or all of her rifle stuff.
She got that glow-in-the-dark tattoo, yeah.
Yes. She finally gets. She finally goes and meets. What's next?
Channing Tatum too.
They do make a mention about time being like a resource or something like
They
that.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, she doesn't find that out yet.
Okay. Sorry.
She doesn't find that out yet.
Yeah, that's not according to my notes, Chris.
I thought Khalik said that to her.
Well, yeah, that was that conversation they had. But she doesn't know why they can. She doesn't know how they actually regenerate themselves.
Oh, well,
yet.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
That whole scene, I know like she had like the stamp on her arm, like to get the mark when she was done. But I was watching that scene, I'm like, this isn't necessary. like the whole scene of where she was like typing and putting her arm in, that was like 5 minutes that could have been taken back from my life. Like they did not need that. That could have been done. But yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie.
And then they get betrayed by Boromir.
Who?
Sean Bean.
Oh, okay. Yes. So
That's
right. He just betrays them to then get her to go
Sean
to Titus,
B.
right?
Yes.
Titus tries to marry her.
Yeah, his mom. His mom.
Yeah.
Tries to move an exact replica of his mom.
Talk about an
supposedly.
Oedipus complex, am I right?
Hey.
Space opera.
She gets super smug after this, though. After she becomes the mom, finds out who she actually is. She gets super smug in the way she talks to people.
Yeah, she leans into it pretty hard, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. And that's like the first time you actually see her start actually acting and not just like responding to
Reacting.
everything.
Also, let's not forget, before he was going to marry her, they eject Channing Tatum out into space.
With his boots.
Yes.
They
Why
left
would
his boots
Yeah, why
on.
would they leave his
Right.
boots?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Hey man, we're gonna send you out into the abyss.
Wait,
He
they
was-
put him in a space
he was in
jail
a prison.
first. Okay.
Yes.
He tried to use the boots to get out.
They left his fucking fire boots on to get out.
Here, keep your ice skates, kid.
Yeah.
While he's in jail, she finds out what they're actually doing with how they get young. And that the family is like this industrious family that it takes humans
Right.
and like creates
Harvests
a
them.
serum that harvests them to make a serum that makes people young.
Which is very much like Matrix, like harvesting humans kind of thing.
And it's
Right.
also the entire point of Dune, isn't it?
Harvesting
The
humans?
spice.
Oh, well,
No, the spice.
Well, the
yeah.
spice, yeah.
Yeah, which makes people young, right?
Well, it's supposed
makes
to give
them
you
live
like
longer.
Well, it's give you like otherworldly powers and stuff like that, like your senses, perception, things like that. But
Right. So we have this thing where then she drops the vial that's like 100 people take to make one vial of this stuff.
Dead.
yeah,
And that's
All right.
so Titus is telling her that he wants to change the whole thing, and that's why he wants to marry her, so he can change the entire system and get rid of the industrious nature of their family and get rid of how they harvest, and that she's in control of the earth, and that which they explain Earth is not like ripe enough yet. The humans on Earth, they still have a little bit of time before they're ripe enough to harvest.
yeah.
So that's why they were leaving us alone.
Which, if you really think about it, doesn't make any sense.
Right. Because they're already harvesting it. Well, that's why they explains that the movie, the city they're in the very beginning when you first meet them is a harvested planet.
That's
It's
why
already
it's
been
all
harvested.
juiced out. Yeah.
Yep.
Got juice.
Okay, so then we go to Kane gets spaced. He uses his magic boots to grab that. I think that was the coolest scene, though.
Yeah, but they also had that. They had that in the room with him again. It's like, even if it's so stupid, it's like, hey,
The
we're gonna
boots are
send you out
clutch,
into
dude.
space.
The
We're gonna
boots are
send
the
you
best
out
part
into
of the movie.
space with your boots. Also, there just happens to be like astronaut suit that materializes out of nowhere in there with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, okay, cool.
So he gets saved.
Oh, it's a really weird. When he gets saved, it's so weird too, because he's floating, and then there's like a spaceship, and then it's like you think something else is gonna happen, and then it just cuts. It's so strange. I was like, what is this cut?
Yeah, when he ends up on the other military spaceship chasing
Yeah,
them, the
cut
Aegis, who are the space cops,
hell?
right?
Yeah.
Well, he gets picked up by the space cops who have
Right.
Sean Bean arrested.
Right.
And he admits that he did that because he's trying to save his daughter who has some kind of disease.
Oh, I missed all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
his
lot.
daughter's sick. Because at the point, I'm like, what the hell happened to his daughter? Where's his daughter at? What is going
She
on?
was
Where's
like
the
hanging back at
daughter?
home the entire time.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
with
then
the
you find out
bees.
that there was this whole thing with him, those two, Channing Tatum, Sean Bean, where Channing Tatum beat someone up or something, and that's why they both got kicked out of
Yeah,
their
he
super secretive
bit-
military group.
He bit an elitist and ripped the throat out, but you never find out. Well, at least that point,
He's
yeah.
a dog.
Yeah.
That's why.
he's a
that
dog.
Yeah, so those two, so then that's why Sean Bean gets kicked out as well as him. They get banished or whatever. Okay, so we're Channing Tatum, Kane Wise saves her from being married to Titus
Right.
because Titus wants to control of the Earth for some reason.
You missed something though. The lizard dudes got sent down to Earth and picked up her family.
Oh,
So-
yes.
So lizard dudes have her family right now while this Titus wedding is happening.
Those guys were cool. The lizard guys are cool. I think.
Lizard
were
guys
cool,
were
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, they were sweet. They had like Cockney accents too a little bit.
Balaam kills the one by just
Yeah, he juices
it's the
it.
most insane thing where they have all these like weird like drills and stuff like poking at him, and all of a sudden he gets sucked out of the thing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. So yeah, they go get her family. Kane Wise saves her from being married.
Right.
They don't kill Titus for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, they just let him go.
Yeah, and then they leave.
Yeah, like
with
I was
the space
why?
cops. The space cops just let him. He even asks, like, "Can I kill him?" And he says no. Or Kane Wise says, "Can I kill him?" And she says no.
It's like, why?
So now we're at the point of the movie. There's about a half an hour left, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what do
yeah.
we got? We got. How does Balaam get her back to Jupiter?
Oh, the family. He threatens the
Yeah,
family.
that's right. Yeah.
He says, "I have your family. If you don't
Is
come here,
Balaam-
they're gonna get juiced."
Is Balaam the weird guy talking weird?
Yeah, he's like,
Eddie Redmayne, Mr. Lips.
In the car.
He reminds me of the enemy from Fifth Element.
Oh, wait, you mean the Zerg?
Yeah, I guess I can't remember.
Gary Oldman?
This case is empty.
Yeah. Where are the stones?
I wrote down that he said negotiate instead of negotiate. It really
I
bothered
do
me.
not negotiate.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
That was, I mean, like, well, here we can talk about that in our summaries, but yeah, go ahead. Anyway, Lord Balaam has the family with the lizard men.
Okay, so she goes to Balaam when Balaam is in he's in the storm of Jupiter where the refinery is that refines all this human stuff, all the humans, turns them into the juice.
Yeah.
Okay, she goes down there. For some reason she goes with them, Balaam's group, instead of staying with the space cops.
The Aegis, right?
Yeah, so Aegis, and then they're like, okay, we'll let you follow us, and they're like, okay, we're gonna follow you right. And then all of a sudden, the storm closes up, and they get sucked out. They have to like run away.
The storm, they barely made it out of the storm. Like it like damaged their ship really bad. Yeah,
and they're like, oh no, they tricked us. Darn. Why wouldn't you just keep her on your ship? Like, why would she go on the other ship? I don't get it. Just stay on their ship.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. Why wouldn't they just like, okay, whatever. Anyway, she goes on to Balaam, Lord Balaam. He tells her what he wants, and then to save your family, whatever. Kane Wise comes flying through the storm. He's like, I'm gonna go. Him and Sean Bean fight off this. Was like no, that's before. Then when they went to Titus, they fight off. They go through this wall of.
That was the wall of like it was
that
like mines.
Very jarring to watch.
Yeah. So this time though, instead of doing that, he's gonna go directly through the storm, which he doesn't survive. Or he does survive, but it's like, you're never going to survive. He goes straight through the storm, gets into the refinery, and all of a sudden the refinery starts blowing up by one ship crashing into it. And everybody's escaping all of a sudden.
Yeah, I have a note that all of a sudden there's like nothing but last minute saves constantly, like a teenager wrote this.
Movie
yeah, like
at this point,
there's never any real danger in this film. It's just the good guys are going to win, and you never have any doubt.
So at this point, like.
Yeah,
the whole ship, like Balaam's ship, is falling apart, and it looks like, if you guys are movie fans, it looks like the end part of like Terminator 2 when they're in the melting factory.
It does, yeah.
So
the factory starts falling apart, or they start fighting. They fall. She says no. I'm not going to let you take my parents, or I'm not going to give up my birthright or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
She gets sucked out with Balaam, and then the like bad dragon or lizard guy fights Kane Wise. Yeah, they fight each other. First off, Kane Wise kills like two of them really quick, and then has to fight the main guy,
boss lizard. Yeah,
I thought the lizards would turn on Balaam after they killed his
buddy.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
So we go to Balaam says, all right, or Balaam dies because she kicks him off a thing or stabs him or something. He
falls, yeah. And
then that's it. She goes back to cleaning toilets. Cut to her cleaning toilets again.
Well, yeah. Hold on. You skipped a little bit of stuff. There is a really cool mid-air fight. And there's an Azuna drop. I don't know if you guys missed that. That's when you look it up. An Azuna drop. IZUNA. It's when you like grab someone and you flip them upside down and it slam them into the ground. So I was like, that's cool. And I wrote that this movie reminds me of when like a video game gets made. Like there's an already existing video game, and then it gets made into a movie, and the movie's not great, but the game was cool. Like I feel like this would have been a cool video game versus like
it'd be fun doing the space skating thing.
Yeah.
But they have games like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then like the lizard guy, he like sticks him in the floor with that portal, and he like
his neck.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is. The world skate or the his skating, he's just skitching. Remember, like back towards the beginning, he's grabbing onto cars and skitching with them in that one fight towards the beginning. It's insane. It's insane that they did that as like the main thing. That was the only thing that's saved this entire movie was his skates were like the main thing that kept the entire story going was the fact that he had these skates.
He kept like I just want to bring this up before we get to the end, but when he had the Lizardman fight before he did that portal decap, he kept doing these spin punches like 3 in a row, and I was like, dude, just throw a goddamn punch. Stop doing these like acrobatics.
Well, he's mashing buttons. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
he was hitting like
there
triangle 10 times.
Oh yeah. Also, she ends up getting her telescope at the end.
Yeah.
The toilet she's cleaning at the end already looks super clean.
Yep.
I don't think it needed cleaned.
Did a great job.
Um,
You could eat off it.
Step back for 1 second. The reason why Balaam wants her is because he cannot harvest the earth without her giving him permission.
Without the seal because
Yeah.
she owns the blood right.
Also, she sees him. He has a pipe, and she immediately turns her back to him.
Yes.
And then she gets piped in the back.
She gets
and it's like,
rebarred, yeah.
what are you doing? And then she gets the pipe, and she pipes him, which is cool.
He also knifed her too.
But
Like,
then she throws the pipe away. Why? Why'd you throw the pipe
Well,
away?
it's like it's like in like Double Dragon or like those games, those beat 'em ups.
Oh,
You can only use it
yeah.
so many times, and then it just disappears.
it like disappeared. Yeah, he ran out of uses.
I can agree with this logic. That's sound logic, Jordan. I agree.
Okay, so she goes back and cleans toilets. Her family's returned home. No memory of what happens. They all get saved.
MIB'd.
She retains ownership of the earth secretly. She's still the queen of the world or of the universe apparently, and which is basically she's not the queen of the universe. She's just queen of like the head of the company,
Well,
like the family company.
Jupiter. Jupiter is the head of the Roman gods, like Zeus. So that's basically what they're doing.
But she's not in charge of she's just like in charge of that company that owns all these
But she's
developments. Like you
still
said.
under the thumb of capitalism back in Chicago.
And that's what the message is, ladies and gentlemen.
And she goes back, and then she has these little sneaks where she sneaks off to hang out with Cain, who got his wings back, and she gets her own boots.
Oh, right.
Rollerblading
That's the
boots, 'cause
last
he gets
scene.
Yep.
She's booting through the air with
They're dancing through the sky.
Yep.
And that is the end of this fantastic movie. So at this point in the show, I want to go through and hear from you of what you think after watching this movie. What is your thoughts? Just let them rip. Who should go first? You want to go first, Jeff?
Sure. I got a quote. I think I got a line here. Ready? We briefly touched on this earlier, but I said that this movie had plot armor so thick that Sean Bean didn't even die in it. So,
Wow.
dumbest ending I wrote. I wrote this movie ruined my Sunday morning. More like poopy turd.
Wait, what?
The only instead of Jupiter rising, poopy turd. Or ascending,
Pooper.
not rising.
Jupiter, okay.
Pooper rising. That's when you like flush the toilet.
Pooper.
Ascending, not rising.
Sorry.
That's
I
whenever
said
it comes
rising.
back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the action scenes were cool. There was some cool ideas. It's just way too fast, and then like way too much talking and dialogue. It was almost like the first
But they say
three.
nothing.
Yeah, it was almost like the first 3 Star Wars movies where like everyone hated all the political parts.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that vibe.
Yeah.
It did remind me of the Super Mario live action movie a little bit for some reason.
Some
I can't
pieces of
quite
it.
place it.
I could see that.
But yeah, I would definitely give it a thumbs down, and I say it was so not fun to watch that Christian lose a turn on his next movie.
On the next round.
Yeah.
Hold on. We'll go into our thumbs up, the PAL rating later. But Brian, what do you got? You go next.
Oh man. Well, they really tried to do something with this movie. They made this sci-fi epic with The Matrix, and they thought they could maybe strike gold twice here. They were trying to do the fish out of water thing, like, you actually have a history in space. But again, the action sequences were cool, but the coolest part of the whole movie was the boots. I could give 2 shits about these characters. If they made the movie about if they made the movie about some character on Earth getting those space boots and skitching and then making their way, I would have been way more entertained than that bullshit. So that being said, if you want to watch it's thumbs down. If you want to watch a better movie like this, where a person on Earth has a destiny in space and they, live their destiny, watch The Last Starfighter. It's in the 80s. It's a great movie. Watch that instead.
Jordan, what do you got to say?
It was fine. No, I think I don't want to knock, because like a lot of people spend a lot of time making this. Like with any movie, I feel bad knocking it, but I didn't like it.
But you're a critic now.
I'm not a critic. Yeah. I don't know anything about this, but I do think there was potential there. Like I think there could have been a lot of cool world building. Like I like what they set up as far as like this, family. It's like feuding with each other. Like there could have been like a lot of potential. I think like I didn't know that the budget was cut, so like it could have been way better. I think it could have been good if it was like two movies rather than just shove everything into one. So I feel like they touched on stuff but didn't really expound on it. There could have been like better world building, but yeah, overall I was like pretty disappointed with the movie. There's just too many silly things they just like touched on and then continue with or just forgot about or left out. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to agree with all of you in that there was so much missed opportunity, I guess I would say, that it's just crazy how much they could have gotten out of us and how much they were just like resorted to the lowest common denominator of how to explain these stories so well.
Yeah, like they created
easily.
I think they did create a cool like concept and like world. Like the characters could be really cool, but like it wasn't executed very well. I think they just tried to cram too much into one movie.
Yeah. Yep.
And they spend so much money on like set piece moments and set building. It seems like there's so much in there that they like built all these crazy sets for, and they make all this the story kind of around that, but there's nothing in the story. She barely says anything for the first hour of the movie. She's just like, what? What happened? Who am I? She barely has any lines. It's just things are happening to her.
This movie does something that I absolutely hate when movies do it, and that was absolutely everything in the film looked brand new. Like no one had actually worn these clothes for longer than an hour. Like everything. Spick and span, brandy new. Like, it just that takes away from the realism. Obviously, it's a very fake movie.
You're saying it looked a little bit too much like movie costumes versus actual clothing.
Yeah, like they just bought all this stuff, and no one has ever worn any of it, or no one has ever lived in this house. This bathroom clearly doesn't need cleaned twice in this film. Like every ad stuff. Like I don't know. I think a little
grime.
It could have gone a long way. You just like let someone live there for like a month beforehand. Like, just
crap it up a little bit.
Yeah, that always it just bugs me. Yeah, too polished is the word. Too polished.
Overall, I agree with you guys. I think the movie itself it didn't let me down because I knew going into it how I heard the what people say about this movie in popular culture, and it's just like a joke. I think there is still a pretty big audience for it, though. Apparently, there are people who really like it, which is crazy because it is such a it seems like something that they had these grand design for, and they had to jam into 2 hours because they knew they wouldn't get any money to make any more of them. There's no way.
I agree. It is a cool world. It was just way too fast and way too much, and not enough.
Cram too much.
Yeah, it would have been a much better like TV series or something. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And if they would have said like the first. They could have made one movie of her just getting to, finding who she is.
It's
and
true.
then the second movie was about her trying to marry her brother.
Actually show hesitation about just leaving Earth.
Yeah, actually maybe don't believe Channing Tatum immediately.
Think about it.
Don't go with this guy with weird ears, which I wrote down as one of my notes. Very gross ears.
Was this a book or anything, or they just made this up?
No, it wasn't. I thought it might have been a book, but it wasn't.
Okay.
They might have done a whole thing, too, where did they build a comic out of it or anything? Like... After the fact, there might have been.
No.
Does anybody care?
I will say that. I will say this. You know how like some movies are so bad that they're good. This was not one of those. No.
Nope. I agree with you. I wrote this one note down. Was this some kind of allegory for heaven and hell?
Probably.
Because Cain is an archangel. She's like the savior. She's like a savior.
So it's just the Matrix again, basically.
Yeah.
She was Neo.
Yeah, they took that element and then they just threw like the whole like globalization thing, but planets and turning people into goop.
How long was it from how many years was it between the first Matrix and Matrix Reloaded?
That's the fourth one?
3 years?
No, the second one.
The second one.
I think 3 years maybe. Maybe 2.
2 or 3 years.
You know what? I know a lot of people Matrix 2 and 3, but I like the whole trilogy.
I think they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the trilogy. The new one sucks. Whatever.
They're making another one.
I can't believe they're making another one.
I never saw the first one.
What?
He's this is full of
Wait, you saw the second and third one though?
Yes, we saw him in college.
How would you? What?
Wait a minute. So you never took the time to watch the first one again?
Nah.
Oh man.
As you'll find out, I really one of the reasons about this show, that we came up with the idea for the show was because one, I don't watch a lot of movies, and two, we talk a lot about them in Mysterious Pals. Most people are like, "Hey, just talk about movies. Stop talking about this mysterious crap." So
yeah, just go with the tangents that you guys normally do.
The thing that comes up often is I don't really watch a lot of movies, and so Jordan brings up stuff. I'm like, I don't know.
This is such a golden opportunity I didn't even think about to get Chris to watch some movies.
Untapped resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, and now we're gonna bring it around. So one of the things we talk about in this show is we want to give our own rating for the movies.
How are we doing this?
Yeah, how is it
yes or no?
Oh, just yes or no.
Yes or no? Do you like it or did you like it or did you not like it? And it's gonna be out of 4. And that's how we're gonna rate it. Very simple.
That's not a yes or no out of 4. What are you talking about?
No. Each one of us.
A yes or no
okay.
So we're not gonna do like 3 pals out of 4 or anything like that.
I'll give it three no's.
3 no's.
So Jeff gave it a he said thumbs down already.
Thumbs down into the ground.
Thumbs no.
Jordan.
I'm giving it a 1 pal out of 4.
So Jordan's giving a yes.
So why?
No, that's not a yes.
No. Are you giving it a yes, Jordan?
Shouldn't we do like a scaling system?
This is a scale.
Yes or no?
No, Jordan. He's saying the scale is between the 4 of us. So
yes, it's out of 4.
Us out of 4.
Should have figured this out before.
I did. I sent in a text message.
I thought we were gonna have our heads as a rating system. Were we supposed to do that?
Yes,
so we're not
no.
gonna show our head if you say no.
No.
So this movie has no pals, is what we're saying.
No pals.
Or does it have 1 pal? Are you a yes or a no, Jordan?
I'm going no.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm also going no. So it's gonna have 0 pals.
Don't watch this with your
pals.
pals.
This is 0 pals. Do not watch this movie.
Start out strong with a horrible movie.
Although next week. Our next movie we're going to watch. The next movie on the list is a Brian pick.
I made a decision.
Let Brian talk. Let Brian intro this.
Set it up,
I'm just going to say, Brian, you set up, what is the next movie we're watching?
So the next movie we're all going to watch together as Watch Pals is a little film I like called The Greasy Strangler. And The Greasy Strangler, without getting too much into it, is kind of a surreal movie about a man and his son who have disco tours, and there's a killer on the loose called the Greasy Strangler that covers himself in grease.
Yeah, and I will say I've seen a good portion of this movie, and I couldn't make it through it.
You didn't finish
it? Maybe not for the reasons you guys are thinking.
I cannot wait to see your guys' reactions.
Yeah, I guess now we're going to finally finish it, and we'll see how it goes.
In the meantime, while we're talking about that, this is the first episode. At this point, we don't have anything set up as related to social media. We do have an email address that I set up, which is will be in the show notes. And we do have a website, which is also in the show notes. So just go to the website, which is watchpals.show. And you can get to all of our social media and all of our, eventually we'll have a rating system up there for each of the movies we watch and our links to our episodes.
And let us know. Let us know. Like, should we just keep doing bad movies and shows, or like, should we actually do popular stuff? Like,
if you have any movies you'd like us to watch in the future, please send us an email or let us know on Instagram or Facebook. So far, Twitter, which we have all set up.
And
sort of.
Right now, The Greasy Strangler, if you have Amazon Prime, it's available right now streaming on there. Also, it's on a bunch of rental services, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can stream it on there.
He's trying to say don't waste your money on renting it.
Get Amazon Prime.
All right. Hey, everybody out there. Thank you for watching or listening. Sorry, not watching because we don't have a video at this point, but thank you for listening to us. We will be back next time. Look for the next episode of Watch Pals. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. This is a nice meeting of combining of worlds between the Cream Team and Mysterious Pals.
Yes,
it's true.
We also have other stuff that we do. Brian and Jeff have the Cream Team, which you can find links to that. It's on Twitch.
You're correct. Twitch.tv/Cream Team.
and that will be in the show notes. Jordan and I have a show called Mysterious Pals, which also can be found in the show notes. A link to that is a show about mysteries and other things in history.
Which Jeff and Brian have been a part of. Thank you, guys.
Jeff and Brian have been on the show, yes. So please check out for that. There's a link below. You can check us out there. Brian and Jeff are also part of an amazing band called Bethlehem, which
crickets.
We will.
What else you need to say?
We will also leave a link below to that because you should all go listen and buy their music. Any case, thank you everybody for tuning in with us. We will see you next time.
Set your watches, okay?
Set your watches. Set your watches.
We will see you next time, everybody. Set your watches for the next episode of the Watch Pals. Good night.
See you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.